Okay, hello everyone. Today's video is a very small video about a very important topic about the types or causes of inflation. So one type of inflation and one major cause of inflation is demand pull inflation. So what is demand pull inflation? It is inflation caused by increases in aggregate demand. When aggregate demand starts rising more than an increase in aggregate supply, or let's say the aggregate supply of an economy doesn't increase, but the aggregate demand keeps on increasing, it may result in demand pull inflation. And very simply, this is the diagram. When you make a macroeconomic diagram, on the x-axis we put output, which is also the GDP or real income, and on the vertical axis we have price level instead of prices. So make sure you get that right. And if let's say our aggregate demand is currently at 81 and our aggregate supply of the economy is AS, and we are currently operating at a price level of P1 and the output or the GDP currently produced is Y1. If the aggregate demand keeps on increasing, let's say to 82, then you can see, and aggregate supply does not increase, you see that the prices will move from P1 to P2 in the economy. But the crucial part and a very important part is, and this is a lifesaver for you in an exam, that in demand pull inflation, the quantity or the output produced by an economy also increases. So prices are rising, there is inflation, it is going to hurt the economy in the long run, but the output is also increasing in the short term. So this may be a good thing. Demand pull inflation causes. The first is expansionary monetary policy. Now, those of you who do not know what monetary policy is, please stop this video, go back and look at the definition. For those you know, going forward will not be an issue. Monetary policy is when a government tries to manipulate or change the aggregate demand by changing the interest rate and the money supply in the economy. And expansionary monetary policy means that the government is trying to manipulate the interest rate and money supply in order to increase the aggregate demand, in order to grow the economy. And the way it does it is by lowering the interest rate or increasing the money supply, which means when the interest rate is low, the cost of borrowing may fall down, firms may borrow more, which means that they are going to invest more, which means I increases, which could lead to an increase in ED or aggregate demand. Please remember, aggregate demand is equal to C plus I plus G plus bracket open X minus M. That means aggregate demand is equal to C, which is consumption made by household, plus investment done by firms, plus government spending or public expenditure labeled as G, and plus net exports, X export minus M imports. So if I increases, investment increases, aggregate demand is also going to increase, and this may increase the price level. Expansionary fiscal policy can also result in demand pull inflation, and this is when government spends more or it reduces taxes. Government spending G is going to increase, and when taxes are going to be reduced, which means people may now have a higher disposable income, they may spend more and consume more, aggregate demand will also increase. Higher business confidence. If the business community is optimistic about the future and they think that good things are about to happen, the economy is about to grow, they are going to spend more than save. Just imagine if you get to know that you will be promoted soon, or let's say you are at work and you're going to be promoted, you are going to give a treat that very day. The promotion money doesn't come until after 30 days or in your next paycheck, but you will be so optimistic and so happy about it. You know that your income is going to increase and you will be able to afford a higher bill, that you take everyone out for dinner or lunch. So you start spending more when you have a confidence that your income is going to increase. So when the business community feels that the economy is about to grow, they are going to spend more than save. Aggregate demand is going to increase because investment has increased. Rapid growth abroad. So when economies of other countries start to grow abroad, that means they're going to demand more of your exports. That may happen. And net export increases, aggregate demand also increases. At the same time, since you're going to export more, inflow is going to come in your country is going to get more money. So not only your aggregate demand increases, but the money flowing into the economy may raise income levels of firms and consumers, and which means that the consumers back home are going to demand more domestic stuff. Because let's say the firms who have exported more will earn more, they are going to invest more, they are going to pay their people more, the employees are going to have a higher income, so they are going to spend more, consumption is going to increase, and this is a ripple effect because one thing leads to another. So aggregate demand is going to increase, and whenever aggregate demand increases, price is going to increase. So this was a very short video about the types of inflation, and we just covered about demand pull inflation. Please remember that demand pull inflation happens when aggregate demand is increasing more than the aggregate supply in the economy. The resources start to be consumed much more quickly, and the prices start to rise. So yeah, that's about it. I hope this video helped you. Thank you so very much.